Hello friends, welcome to Medicina 101. Today we'll just go through the topic that the basically from the aspect of pharmacology, the drugs used in the peptic ulcer disease. Okay, so if you are new in my channel, please do subscribe and press the bell icon for to get all the notifications first, to watch the videos and to share also with your friends as if they can have also the benefit. Okay, so let's start today's topic, that is the drugs used in peptic ulcer disease. Okay, so I'm writing here the peptic ulcer disease. Okay guys, now let's have a very basic recap before starting the topic. Okay, we all know it in the GIT there is like stomach, and within the stomach, just consider just like this. Okay, it's not the anatomical diagram, just to hypothetical. Okay, now within the stomach we know that the production or secretion of one of the acid that is called HCl. We all know it. I think also. Now within the stomach, okay, there is certain type of the cells which secretes the HCl. And which cells do secretes the HCl? That is called the parietal cells. We all know it, okay? The name of the cell that secretes the HCl, that is called parietal cells. Is the parietal cell. Okay? And we all know it that it will produce what? The HCl. And along with this, the HCl and with one more bacteria is present within the stomach. The name of the bacteria that is called H. pylori. Now these two things, the HCl and H. pylori, they are the aggressive factors that can destroy the membrane, or you can the layer, mucous layer of the stomach. Let's suppose, let me just define the mucous membrane. Let's suppose this is the mucous membrane, and that can be damaged by by the action of the HCl and the bacteria Heterobacter pylori, or H. pylori you can say in brief form. Okay. Now there is also the protective function. That means we can say, if you consider this as like the aggressive factors, this is like the aggressive factors. Okay, now there are also certain things which try to recover or which try to defend the aggressiveness of those things, and that's why the membrane is like these things. Within the membrane of the stomach there is like the mucous membrane, mucous membrane, plus there is also a layer that is called bicarbonate. Okay, so HCO3 minus this. Now the thing is, here you have to know this HCl and H. pylori will try to to try to destroy or try to cause the damage within the membrane, but there is like the mucous membrane and the bicarbonate layer that will try to protect it. Okay. Now whenever there will be imbalance, if there is imbalance in between these two, if there is an imbalance, then that leads to cause the ulcer. Why? Now let's suppose the action of the protective function, I mean the action of these things like the mucous membrane and bicarbonate get slower, or it's less. If it is less, and if the function of these two like the HCl and H. pylori are more, then this can cause the ulcer. Okay, this can cause the ulcer. Now let's have a recap that how the ulcer has been formed from the molecular level. Okay. Now I'll just consider that we know that the parietal cells here that secretes the HCl. Now I'll just take a piece of the parietal cells and I'll just elaborate it, enlarge it in the diagram. Okay. Now let's have a look on the parietal cells. Hope you understood these things. Okay. Now let's suppose it's a parietal cell. Now within the parietal cells, it's like the lumen. That means let's suppose it's the lumen. Okay. L for lumen, or you can write lumen. Okay. Now if it is the lumen, there is a pump on the parietal cells. Okay. And by the action of these pumps, we see there is like releasing of the proton, or you can say H plus within the lumen, and they will take the K plus or the potassium within them. Okay, this is the ATPase pump. We can say hydrogen and potassium ATPase pump. Okay. Now this pump is called proton pump. This pump, because it is also releasing the proton, that's why it's known as also the proton pump. You can just proton 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 pump. Okay. Now we need to see that how these proton pumps are getting activated. Okay. Near the parietal cells, or you can say there's the near the stomach, that is called the gastric ganglia. Okay, it's called the gastric ganglia, which secretes the acetylcholine from the M1. We know the M1 is there, the acetylcholine. And this acetylcholine will act, there is a receptor, there is M3. Okay, and when this M3 will be activated, they will activate the proton pump to secrete more amount of the H plus outside, I mean within the lumen. That will cause more acidity. Okay. Another thing is here, that is called histamine. There is H2 receptors, and these H2 receptors for histamine. Okay. Now this histamine will also activate the secretion of H plus here. And also there is a gastrin, you can say, that will act through the receptor, that is cholecystokinin, that means CCKR, R for air receptor. Okay, that will act, the gastrin will act through the CCKR, and that will activate this one, and then ultimately will activate the this pump, that means proton pump, that will also cause the releasing of H plus. In our body there is like the, there is also compensatory like mechanisms like okay, that is called prostaglandin E2, PGE2. This PGE2 will try to inhibit the releasing of H plus outside, I mean within the lumen. That's the normal thing. Now we have to think that we have to use such type of the drugs which can inhibit the releasing of H plus within the lumen. Now see, if we can block the M1 receptors from here, then the acetylcholine will be not released, and if the acetylcholine is not released, then this receptor will be not activated, and if this receptor is not activated, then there will be not that much production of the H plus within the lumen. Next thing, if we can block the H2 receptors, that means here, okay, we can block the H2 receptors here. Okay, and if you can block the H2 receptors, that will not also stimulate the proton pump to release more amount of the proton. Similarly, you can also block this one. Okay, and finally, the most important thing, that is we can block the proton pump. I mean, this is the proton pump. Okay, proton pump inhibition. So certain types of the drugs you can use. Let's write the name of the drugs and their basic things. So first of all, we can use the M1 blocker. Now within the M1 blocker, in peptide ulcer we can use two types of the drugs. Those are like the pirenzepine and telenzepine. These two drugs we can use to block the M1 receptors. Okay. Then we can use the, I said that H2 blocker. H2 means the histamine receptor blockers that stimulate the what? Proton pump to secrete more amount of the H plus. Now within this type of the group of the drugs, we can use the cimetidine, okay. We can also use the ranitidine. Actually, after the prefix there is like the tidine. Ranitidine, okay. We can also use the loxatidine. We can also use the famotidine. Okay, this type of the drugs are used. They are like the H2 blockers, so they will block the, as I make a mention of the H2 blocking. Then the proton pump will be not activated. Okay. Now The most important, I'm saying the most important thing that we can just block the proton pump. Now, it's the most important drug of choice, you can also say here. Okay, that's why I'll highlight it. Proton pump inhibitor. Proton pump inhibitor. Okay. Now within the proton pump inhibitor, there is ending with the prazole. Like we can use the omeprazole. Okay. We can use the omeprazole. Omeprazole. We can use also the lansoprazole. Lansoprazole. We can use the pantoprazole. Okay. All type of the drugs you can use then this is the most important type of the drugs. If you can block the proton pump, then there will be no releasing of what H plus within the lumen, so there will be no production of the acidity there. Okay. Now I just said that if the PGE2 or prostaglandin E2 will help. Okay, they will not let the proton pump to secrete more amount of the H plus outside within the lumen. Okay, so we can give the from outside on PGE2. Okay, and the PGE2 is misoprostol. Okay, let me write with another. Okay, I'm writing it. Misoprostol. And no need to forget about it that this misoprostol. Okay, this is the used. If we use the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, if we use these things, and for using these things, if there is like the any type of the ulcers, then we can prefer the PGE2. Okay, I'm repeating again. If we just take the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and for this, if we just develop the gastric acidity or something like the ulcers, then you can use the PGE2. That means NASID induced ulcers. To treat it, we can use the PGE2. Okay. And now this was all about the drugs, and we'll just talk about all the side effects and adverse effects, and what about the mechanisms more in details in the next part of the videos. Okay, this is the first part. Hope you understood. If you don't understand anything, let me know in the comment sections. I'll try to help with my best. Okay, all the best. Thank you so much.